it's Gamer Ahmer here. So today I wanted to talk about this question that I constantly think about, and a lot of people ask me this. So when is it too many games? When do you have too many video games in your collection, and what do you do about it? How do you manage it? And what does that even mean? So let's go ahead and jump into it. So this could actually be taken a couple different ways. Are there too many video games out there being produced? Are there too many in existence? And how do you manage it if you're collecting or even trying to catch up and play games? We all know the term backlog, and we all know that collectors sometimes get too many games in their collection. So what does that even mean? So if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss on any uploads, as I'm constantly adding things to the channel. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So back in the day, if you played video games years and years ago at the very early ages of gaming, you'll know that maybe there weren't too many video games out there when you first started. And the way of actually finding out about these games, you just didn't see every single game in existence. Well, as time went on, we all know about the video game market crash and how people were just going out there and producing tons of different games without even, getting all of these different quality checks and everything else. There were just so many bad games at the time. Well, if you fast forward to all of these different consoles, there's literally hundreds of consoles out there. There's tens and thousands and probably even hundreds of thousands of video games. So what do you even do? How do you even decide what you want to play? How do you even decide what you want to collect? And when does it become too much? So these are all questions that I'm constantly asked, and I guess you have to kind of put yourself into different categories. Are you a video game player? Do you collect video games? Do you like to do a little bit of both? And what is your method? Do you collect the physical media? Do you collect the digital? So if you guys know, if you do collect digital stuff and you do play video games, you'll know that there's always sales. There's always those game passes where you get tons of free games added to a different service. And there's just so much out there. There's so many different opportunities. So pretty much you have to narrow it in. What type of video games do you like playing? What type of video games do you want to have in your collection for a rainy day? Is the intent there? Do you intend on playing every game that you buy? Or, do you just enjoy that stuff for a rainy day and you intend on maybe playing it later? So where are you when it stands with that? So there is simply too many games, and that can be overwhelming for people. And essentially, that is what gets stressful and overwhelming when you're trying to go through your video game collection. You buy a game, you set it aside, another game comes out, you start playing that, then maybe it's not that interesting, and then you kind of trail off and you go back to other games, or maybe you intended on playing another game that you already had in your collection. So these are just some things to think about. What do you guys do? And when we're going through this, I often think of it as what games I'm intending on playing at that particular time. Do I have certain games that maybe take a little bit longer, maybe have hours of gameplay? Are those ones that I kind of set aside? Do I get my backlog insanely long? And are there games that I'm just not even bothering, investing my time into? But maybe someone else would enjoy that stuff. So as I go through and I collect a little bit of every single thing, I'm a little bit different than just your average video game player, as I like to collect that physical media. Now I kind of do that more of a preservation type thing, and maybe in the future there will be something, greater than just here in my collection. So that is always something that I keep in mind. Now, of course, tons of the games that I don't really play, like those sports games and, outdated rosters and everything else, some of those I will just probably never essentially play, and I got them so cheap or pretty much free from an entire lot. So I don't really count those as games in my backlog. Now there are plenty of other games that we can all be better about. In 2023, hopefully I am trying to go through and actually play more and more of my video games, try and find that time, to play these things. So are there really too many video games, or is there just not enough time and not enough money out there to go ahead and acquire everything. So I just wanted to see what everyone else thought on this topic. You know, as there are so many different options, it becomes so overwhelming, and essentially there is this fear of missing out that tons of collectors actually experience at some point, where they don't want to miss out on a deal for a particular game that they may or may not want to play, or that they intend to one day when they have a vacation, when they have time away from work, when they just have so much time, you know, in their later years, they intend on playing these things, or even if they have families and friends that enjoy coming over and playing these games. So what do you guys think about this topic? Are there essentially too many video games? Is it overwhelming when you're trying to decide on what to play? Do you hone in on a particular genre or, you know, type that you actually enjoy, or even for a particular system? Just let me know in the comments below. Or do you think that there is, you know, not too many games and there's just not enough money or even time to go through and buy all of these games and play them? So just let me know what you guys think, and of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos, and stay tuned for more.